Welcome to our Land Rover BAR base on what is a very blustery day here in Bermuda ahead of another day of racing in the 35th America's Cup. Xabi Fernandez alongside me and Leigh Macmillan too, both sailors in our team. And I've got to ask you first and foremost, guys, whether we're going to race or not today, because it's quite blustery, Xabi, out there.
It is very windy today, and
Yeah.
we will see. We had a very windy day yesterday as well, and we managed to race 4 races. But as everyone saw, it's plenty going on for everyone, and we will see. We'll see what the race director says.
The race committee continued to delay their decision, Leigh. I mean, we heard that they were going to make a call at 12 o'clock, then subsequently 1 o'clock. We know that there'll be no racing until 3 o'clock, whatever happens. How long can they string this out for? When will we really genuinely know whether we're going racing or not?
Well, I think that they kind of got the whole day really to kind of get racing in, but if it gets to a stage it starts to build, that's kind of what the forecast is, then they'll kind of make a call sooner than that, because you know, if it kind of follows the trend of what it's supposed to, then you know it's kind of going to go too much. But at the moment, it's right on the verge.
Yeah.
So they're kind of just keeping an eye on it. If it doesn't build, then there's a chance that we could get some racing in.
It was on the verge yesterday, wasn't it? And we certainly saw that by way of all sorts of drama out on the race course. Not least in the fact that the New Zealand boat capsized right off the start in that second race against us. Leigh, I know that you were on the scene pretty much as soon as that had happened, because we made a big point of the fact in the morning that should anything happen with any teams out there over the course of the race action, everyone would be all hands on deck to sort the problem. So tell us what happened from your perspective.
Yeah, so we were pretty close to the action. We were just to windward of the start line, so only kind of 100, 150 metres away from the Emirates Team New Zealand when they capsized. And the first call for us was just to, you know, our boat obviously kind of pulled up straight away, and was just to be, you know, kind of on standby, ready to help if they needed us. I mean, you know, kind of last thing you want to do is to kind of rush in and get involved somewhere and kind of make any mistakes. So we kind of got close to the area. Matt Cornwall, Cat Flat, was kind of our crisis manager on the boat, so he was kind of in charge of the situation there. And as soon as we could see there's some guys in the water, we kind of slowly got into position to kind of extract one of the sailors out of the water.
Yeah,
and,
so Ben Williams did help to extract Blair Tuke from the New Zealand boat?
That's right. So yeah, we got Blair out, and then we had him on our boat for kind of 5-10 minutes, and then we managed to get him onto one of their boats and kind of get out of the way. They had the scene under control at that point. Had accounted for the safety of all the sailors, which is the main thing, the most important thing. And then from there, they obviously have their own procedures for riding the boat, so we kind of got out of the way and kind of got back to our own boat from that point and tried to kind of leave them to it to kind of deal with the situation as best they possibly could.
And I suppose, Xabi, the other thing that it just sort of personified was the fact that these boats are just so fast, and in these sorts of conditions where you're right on the edge. I mean, Ben talked about it in the morning, but very much it's all about sort of surviving out there and just getting round the marks as safely as possible and bringing the boat home in one piece. And we saw yesterday that's really hard to do in these conditions.
It is, and if you go around the coast safely, it's normally enough to win the race as well, because we saw Japan yesterday didn't do anything really extraordinary, but Artemis was struggling so much that Team Japan just went around the course safely and won. For us, and I think Ben mentioned it in the post-race interview, that I think was the first day we sailed so much wind, because it's so dangerous even when you're training, so you can have a big damage. So it is surviving. We knew that from the beginning, and was the main goal. We did some safe setups in the boat, maybe paying a little bit of performance, but making sure that we could sail around. And I think we did a very nice job in our team, and we did the whole racing very well.
Leigh, people get confused. They think sailing was surely it's good that the wind's up, right? But in these sorts of boats, when we're talking about so much technology involved and the systems have to work, you know, that you're driving such an extremely, just a very, very, very particular type of beast, isn't it, out there? And it needs a really, really strong, firm hand on it, like Ben's, but at the same time, you know, in these sorts of conditions, that's very, very hard to keep the boat under control.
Yeah, these boats they harness so much power. You know, the wing's still the same size as it was when we were racing in 6 knots as it is kind of in 25 knots yesterday. So you've got all that power, and it's just impossible to get rid of it. The acceleration of the boats, the efficiency, the foils are so efficient, so low drag. The boat just wants to accelerate at all times, and so when you're in this kind of breeze, the potential for speed is off the Richter is extremely high. And as Xabi was saying, we're kind of in a situation at the moment where we're just having to nurse it around because we haven't been able to push the boats in this kind of breeze. It's because the risk of kind of setting the campaigns back, going out training in this kind of breeze is too high. So you kind of almost kind of ramp up your training to this event, kind of pushing the conditions all the time, but never taking that big risk. And so you kind of saw everyone yesterday, like Xabi said, just kind of taking it as easy as they possibly could, but you can't back off that much. The boats just want to go fast. As soon as you're foiling, they're just accelerating, and so you're kind of holding on for dear life at times. It's full on.
What will our approach be today? Because we had a point on the board after yesterday. It's not the way that anyone would want to put a point on the board, but we have one now on the board. We're 3-1 down. Going into today, if we do end up racing, what's our approach going to be? Because it's really important, isn't it, to level things up with New Zealand?
Yeah, our approach will be very similar. I think the good thing is we got out yesterday for some training in the morning and some strong breeze, and then it picked up in the afternoon. We got out racing in those conditions, so we have that kind of under our belt now. We know that we can handle the absolutely top end conditions that we will race in, and so from there, we just look to make small improvements. We've analysed the data, we've analysed our performance around the course, and we know where we can find moments where we can push the boat harder to find those gains, and we know where we did a good job of kind of conserving the kind of safety factor and getting the boat around the course. So we've learned a lot from yesterday. So today, if we do go out and race, we're in a great position, kind of knowing that we can go out and kind of improve our performance from yesterday.
Okay, so the good news is confidence is on our side. Yeah. Okay, well, if we do go racing today, we'll be in the first race and the third race of the day. We don't know yet what the race committee are going to say, whether they're going to rule that we race or not, but as soon as we do know, we'll let you know via our social media platforms, and hopefully we'll get to catch up later.